Well, now at 11, 24 hours since they left the debate stage, hear how the presidential candidates campaign tonight. And 10% of St. Mary's students report being sexually assaulted. What the school is doing about it. In an interview from her jail cell, she admits to smothering her two kids. Why she says she did it. WSBT 22 News at 11 starts right now.
First, fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 11.
The new at 11, for the first time, we're hearing directly from the Fort Wayne woman accused of killing two of her children. In a chilling jailhouse video interview with our CBS affiliate in Fort Wayne, Amber Pastor explained exactly how she killed her kids. She described what happened that day, how she pushed in the door of the home the kids were staying at, put them into a stolen car, and just started driving. That afternoon, she decided to kill her kids. She had a gun, but she says she didn't have the heart to shoot them. And so she smothered them.
Just smother first.
My daughter.
And then Renee?
Yeah, he wanted to go with her.
Really?
I gave them a choice.
What'd you say to them?
That they can live traumatized like their mom, or they can go to heaven and with God and be better off.
And they chose to go to heaven?
Yes.
What did they say? Did they say, I want to go to heaven? Or did they just agree?
My daughter said if she would kill herself first before somebody hurt her.
So you put your hands over their mouths. Did they fight you at all?
A little bit, yes.
A pastor and her kids were found inside Frank McCumber's car. He was later found dead less than a mile from where the kids were kidnapped in Fort Wayne. During that interview, she admitted to shooting McCumber. She described a plan she put into place days before. She needed McCumber's gun and promised him sex in exchange, and she needed his car. She told him she wanted to go camping. Now, the two ended up in the woods, and that's when she says she shot him, saying she only needed one shot while his back was turned.
I aimed the gun one time and shot him. I don't know where I shot him at. I don't even know how I had an aim in me and like that, like I did, but I did.
Well, the prosecutor says Pastor is a suspect in that case as well, but has not been charged. Well, an average of major national polls show Donald Trump is trailing Hillary Clinton by more than 5 points just 4 weeks to Election Day. The candidates returned to battleground states following last night's debate. Now, more than 70 Republicans have denounced Trump since Friday. 27 rescinded their endorsements. House Speaker Paul Ryan told House Republicans he will no longer defend or campaign for Trump. He urged them to do whatever's necessary to keep their seats in November. Trump, though, focused on Clinton at a campaign stop in Pennsylvania.
If they want to release more tapes saying inappropriate things, we'll continue to talk about Bill and Hillary Clinton doing inappropriate things. There are so many of them, folks.
Now, today, WikiLeaks released more hacked emails from Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta's account. The new batch covers a range of topics, that President Obama's relationship with Bernie Sanders to concern about Bill Clinton's business dealings. But during a rally in Ohio, Clinton criticized Trump's debate performance.
Donald Trump spent his time last night attacking me when he should have been apologizing.
Clinton and Trump go face-to-face for their final debate next Wednesday. One local school taking lessons from election hot topics. Preventing sexual assault is a theme this week at St. Mary's College. A student group, Bells Against Violence, want fellow students to take a pledge recognizing non-consensual sex as sexual assault. Senior Kayla Gaughan sits on a National Student Advisory Committee for It's On Us. She says the current political climate, with recently revealed lewd remarks by Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, shows awareness is a community concern.
Some of the political atmosphere that's been created, especially this week, does not do justice the definition of consent.
St. Mary's College is not only addressing national sexual abuse statistics, but those on their own campus as well. More than 500 undergrad and graduate students participated in the service earlier this year. WSBT 22's Heather Black was at the forum to hear the statistics. And Heather, St. Mary's comes in under the average of most college campuses.
That's correct. 9.5% of their students say they were sexually assaulted after arriving on campus. Now, that's lower compared to the 12% from other colleges who answered the survey as well. But the college president says they still have lots to do. Now, according to the survey, most of those assaults for St. Mary's students occurred off of campus. There are also multiple perpetrators during an assault itself. Now, one psychologist professor at St. Mary's says most of those assaults happen within a college student's first year.
Just moved out of their home, who have probably just lived away from their parents for the first time. And now this sort of fundamental disruption has happened. And so there's a special vulnerability right there when assaults happen right at that time in one's life as they're making this transition.
And Holy Cross, University of Notre Dame, and St. Mary's plan to work together in hopes to prevent sexual assault on their campuses. Now, if you'd like any more information on this study, just go to WSBT 22 News app and click on the story.
Hi everybody, I'm Matt Rudkin. Very nice evening out there. Live look in Elkhart, you can see for miles and miles because the air is so dry and temperatures reflect that. They've fallen pretty quickly down into the middle 50s for most locations in northern Indiana, southwest Michigan, our southern counties. You were the warmest today. Now you're one of the coolest. It's 54 in Rochester, 57 in Culver, 60 though in North Judson, 54 Warsaw, 56 the current temperature in Akron. We fall into the lower 50s tonight, warm up to near 70 tomorrow with a mix of sun and clouds. We will let you know how long this warm weather lasts in your forecast coming up.
Matt, thanks. While the presidential race certainly gets a lot of coverage, there's no shortage of local races on the ballot this year. And new at 11, IU South Bend is hosting a series of candidate forums so that voters can hear from those local candidates. WSBT 22's Patrick Roth is at the live desk. And Patrick, tonight voters heard from candidates for South Bend School Board.
Yeah, Rick, this is one of those races that's really down ballot and can be easy to overlook at times. But decisions made by the school board can be felt a lot faster than any decision made by federal positions. Now, a lot of people came out to hear from the candidates tonight, and there was a lot of talk about what changes South Bend schools could and should make, especially with a new superintendent in charge. Now, while some people might think that this election only affects parents with kids in the school district, candidates said that it will affect everyone in South Bend.
It affects them because this is about providing equal and quality education for all children.
You should care because public education is the foundation of the democracy and the well-being of a community.
Now, candidates pointed out things like property values are tied to local school districts, and some of the things that they talked about were how they'd try to turn around some of the declining enrollment, how to use more and better technology in classrooms, and how do they better handle certain disciplinary issues. At the live desk, Patrick Roth, WSBT 22 News.
You have one more day to register to vote. The voter registration deadline in Indiana and Michigan is tomorrow. You can register at a voter registration office or your local BMV. You can also do it online at indianavoters.com. Again, the deadline is tomorrow. Early voting starts on Wednesday. And tomorrow, St. Joseph County Council members are going to introduce a new human rights ordinance. It would prohibit discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. That's according to Jeff Parrott with our reporting partners at the South Bend Tribune. The ordinance would protect people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender living anywhere in the county except South Bend. South Bend has had those protections since 2012. The measure calls for equal access to education, employment opportunities, public accommodations, and housing. Well, new at 11, South Bend's mayor is pushing for a higher minimum wage for city workers. His proposed salary ordinance for next year would raise it to $10.10 an hour. Right now it sits at $8.20 an hour. He's also urging local businesses to match the city's commitment to fair work practices. The state minimum wage is at the federal minimum at $7.25. The Common Council will give public hearings for that proposal. Well, new at 11, a woman was taken to the hospital tonight after a shooting in South Bend. Police say a car shot into a home on 36th Street late this afternoon. The bullets hit the woman in her abdomen while she was inside a home behind the targeted house. Police say she was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and is in stable condition. Police do not have any suspects at this time. And police are asking for your help as they investigate a shooting that injured two apparent innocent bystanders. South Bend police say they're looking for a dark-colored SUV. It was last seen near the shooting in the 700 block of South Webster Street on Saturday night. Officers say a 24-year-old woman was shot in the arm. A 33-year-old man was struck in the leg. Both are non-life-threatening wounds. If you have any information, you're asked to call police, and we have those numbers on the WSBT 22 News app. Well, police have identified the man hit and killed in a hit-and-run accident last night. 59-year-old Tyree Washington was hit at Adams and Humboldt on South Bend's northwest side. Police are looking for a white four-door sedan with front-end damage. It drove away from the scene. Elkhart police grieving the loss of 2 retired officers tonight in a 2-day period. 51-year-old Stephen Stewart died last Wednesday at his home. He retired last year after 24 years with the department. 57-year-old Mike Postuma died in a car-motorcycle crash the next day. He served with the department for 28 years. Officers say whether active duty or retired, they all share a bond.
Some of us took it harder than others, obviously. Some of us have been around a lot longer, so we've spent, 20-plus years around these folks. And it is a bond, it's a brotherhood, it's a family. So when you lose somebody from your family, you grieve.
The services are tomorrow for Stewart and Thursday for Postuma. More than 1,000 people are dead in Haiti after Hurricane Matthew. A Haitian man now living in the U.S. is pleading with people to send their aid. Rudy Seaview grew up in Haiti and got a visa to America at age 9. The Navy vet now works as a technician, supporting his wife and 4 kids. His success here reminds him how important it is to help his home country.
Sometimes it brings me to tears because it's like I'm laying in a hotel room watching this and it's comfortable for me, but they're not. So it is heart-wrenching most of the times. Yes, it is.
He's urging people to find reputable charities to donate to so funds don't get in the hands of what he calls a corrupt government. The American Red Cross says they're accepting monetary donations only. We have a link on our website, WSBT.com. Well, you rely on health studies to keep you informed of what's healthy, but is there too much influence from outside groups?
Nice quiet evening. Look at the beautiful skyline, that dry air you can see for miles and miles. Helped warm us up too. We were in the upper 60s, low 70s today, officially 68, 43 this morning. We're going to talk about cold weather on the way though, at least a little bit of it. Your forecast coming up.
You're watching WSBT 22 News at 11.
An IU School of Medicine professor just got a big check to fight Zika. The U.S. Agency for International Development granted the professor more than $875,000. Molly Duman-Scheel has been working on a unique insecticide. It targets genes which prevents the accidental killing of beneficial insects like bees and ants. Now, it uses yeast, which Scheel says will make it more available to use in developing countries. After major health studies are major health studies tainted by soda giants. A new study shows that Coca-Cola and Pepsi have sponsored at least 96 health groups between 2011 and 2015. Researchers say that could have skewed the group's support for public health measures aimed at cutting soda consumption. The American Beverage Association said in a statement that it's proud to support organizations that improve public health. Take a look at the new Battelle Center in Mishawaka. Tonight, the center held a grand reopening. The community center closed a year ago for renovations. It's welcoming back our area tonight with an upgraded auditorium and classrooms.
Now, your accurate first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Matt Rudkin.
Hey, here's a live look into Wajack, courtesy of our friends over at IT3 up there. Very nice evening, to say the least, especially for mid-October. Satellite and radar shows a couple clouds trying to move in. And see the rain showers I mentioned earlier, it's really, really dry. They'll try to make it here, and they won't. The rain will dissolve or just dissipate before it gets here. Upper 50s right now. Again, this is a pretty seasonable, if not even a little bit warmer than we often are at this time of year. 58 South Bend, 56 in Elkhart, 54 in Rochester. Up in southwest Michigan, a few 40s showing up, including Dowagiac at 49, but up the road in St. Joe, still 59, 53 in Constantine, 55 in Three Rivers with the south and east wind about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So a little breeze out there, but certainly nothing too significant. The dew point at the airport is 47. That's a nice low number. That's the measure of how much moisture is in the air. The lower the number, the less little tiny microscopic water droplets are floating around. Those little water droplets, they hold on to heat. That's why in the summer when it's really, really humid, overnight lows are usually stuck in the 70s because there's so much water around. But when the dry air comes in here, there's not as many water droplets. So the warmth you gain during the day radiates into space much, much faster. Again, some of the clouds coming in, they'll act like a little blanket for a short time overnight. So we won't free fall into the 40s tonight. South wind will keep us a bit on the mild side next few days. There is our next weather maker. It will give us some rain showers, especially late day on Wednesday, and then bring in the much cooler air. You saw the north flow there on those wind arrows. Here's Futurecast. I fast forward to tomorrow night. Still very quiet. We'll go with partly cloudy skies. First half of Wednesday should be fine. We're talking partly cloudy, but then the rain gets here. Here's 2 p.m. No rain yet. It's off near Chicago. It does move in, though, after dinner time and especially overnight. A very good chance ahead of that cold front. So let's talk the next several days here on our long range model. Here's Wednesday, nice and mild. This would be 70s. This here would be highs in the 50s for Thursday, around 60 or so by Friday. But this weekend, as Notre Dame is back home, if you're heading to the game, it's mild, upper 60s, low 70s. And then next week, a weather system gets in here. Likely see a few showers and storms. Another blast of cold air. It's fall. This is what happens almost every season. You warm up, you cool down, you warm up, you cool down. If this model verifies, though, by late next week, so we're talking the 3rd week of October, this would be a very nice shot of cool air. 52 tonight, partly cloudy. And for this time of year, that's pretty comfortable. For your day tomorrow, around 70, partly cloudy. And again, that is pretty mild for this time of year. After the rain gets out of here Wednesday, we should see a little bit of sun on Thursday, but much cooler, highs in the 50s. We should clear out Thursday night. If that happens, it is not out of the question. Some of you fall to the 30s, the coolest we've seen in nearly a half of a year, and that would likely give some of you the chance for some light frost. So start thinking about that if you get the sensitive plants, especially away from the larger cities. But it doesn't stick around too much longer. We warm up, and then, Rick, as you could guess, after the 7-day forecast, we cool right back down. Up and down, up and down.
People at home can't tell, but we've been skunked. We have the skunk in our air system right now, so the whole studio smells like skunk right now.
Excuse us if we toss a commercial so we can go
exactly. Get a breath of fresh air. All right, Matt, thanks. Tomorrow morning, Chicago schools may be without teachers. Why they could be striking in just a few hours. Well, today is Worldwide Homeless Awareness Day. Organizations in our area are raising money to help those in need. Now, Michiana 5 for the Homeless created a box city outside of Four Winds Field. Organizations donated $35 for a box. Now, the proceeds go directly to buying sleeping bags and tents for the homeless. Organizers hope to raise $5,000. The boxes will be given away for people to sleep in. We're just hours away from a possible Chicago teachers strike. The Chicago Teachers Union has been working without a contract since June 2015. It's set to hit the picket lines at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Talks continue this afternoon, and the teachers union is reviewing the latest proposal. Now, the union wants no cuts to pay or benefits and an additional $200 million in spending. The city school system says it's working within the framework of an offer it made in January, which included pay increases but required teachers to pay more toward their pensions. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is calling the protests of football players who declined to stand for the national anthem dumb and disrespectful. She says it's not illegal, but called it ridiculous and a terrible thing to do. San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick and other athletes have received national attention for refusing to stand for the anthem this year. Kaepernick cited racial injustice and police brutality among the reasons. Don't go anywhere. Baseball playoffs have another team moving on. Sports is next.
Now, sports with Dean Huppert.
Hello, everybody. The Cubs playing the Giants tonight in the National League Divisional Series. Cubbies have a 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 series. You won't believe this. In the top of the second, with the game scoreless, Jake Arrieta, the Cubs pitcher, hit a 3-run homer to give Chicago a 3-run lead. Madison Bumgarner had never given up a home run to the pitcher. Right now, the Cubs lead the Giants 3-1. Reliever Travis Wood just hit a 2-run homer in Game 2. Cubs, the first team to have 2 pitchers homer in the same postseason series since the 1924 New York Giants. In the other divisional series, the Nationals and Dodgers tied at a game apiece. Top of the third, the Nats with a 1-run lead. Anthony Rendon hammers at the deep left, and it's a 4-1 lead for Washington. Carlos Ruiz answers with a homer. LA back within a run. But in the ninth, Jason Worth at the plate. This one is gone. Washington wins 8-3, and they lead the series 2-1. Cleveland trying to close out Boston in the ALDS. In the sixth, Coco Crisp goes yard. The 2-run homer makes it 4-1 Indians. In what would end up being his final at-bat, Big Papi David Ortiz walks. He fires him up for one more run, so it was a 4-3 game. The Red Sox have one last chance with 2 on. Travis Shaw flies out to end the game. Let the celebration begin. Indians win 4-3. They sweep the series 3-0. Will face the Blue Jays in the ALCS. High school football will have all eyes on Mishawaka at Penn Friday night. The Kingsmen are 8-0, while the Cavemen are 7-1. Penn can win the NIC outright, while the Maroons would love to steal a share.
I think sameness is the key. I think you do things the same this Monday as you did them last Mondays, you did them the Monday before. Tomorrow will be the same type of practice as it was last Tuesday and the Tuesday before and the Tuesday before. So I think, you know, routine's important, particularly for kids and also for adults. But I also think that you've got to keep the noise that's outside the football program to a bare minimum.
And here's a fun fact in college football this week. The Big Ten has 4 teams in the top 10. Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nebraska. And this is pretty cool. Western Michigan, the Broncos, are in the top 25 for the first time ever. So they're ranked number 24. So the Broncos feeling pretty good about themselves right now.
How about Penn and Mishawaka this week, too? What a big one that is, huh?
Backyard brawl. Yeah, they love it. Mishawaka's playing some really good football, so I think Penn's ready for a challenge.
Coach Giesman called it the grocery store game because the next day everybody went to the grocery store and talked about it.
Yeah, they got bragging rights,
got bragging rights.
Love it.
All right, Dean, thanks. Matt's up next. All right, Dean doesn't want to put away the golf clubs yet, so give him some good news.
Okay, all right, for Dean then.
For Dean only.
All right, we've got some nice weather on the way. 52 tonight, partly cloudy and pretty comfortable temperatures for this time of the year. Tomorrow, we're at 70. There you go, Dean. And that's your day off, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Look at that. Mix of sun and clouds, low humidity. Doesn't get much better than that. And the next several days, we're warm Wednesday, rain likely the second half of Wednesday. Wednesday night, a very good chance of rain. So heads up for Wednesday night, Thursday morning. That's ahead of a cold front that does just that. Cools us down. We warm up, we cool down. Warm up, we cool down. Pretty typical. You know, a lot of people say we never get a fall around here. It goes right from summer to winter. There's your normal fall for a couple of weeks before
winter shows up. All right. You can still get out and hit them. Good to go.
Go out and lose some golf.
Yeah, exactly. Next news is tomorrow morning at 5. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.